All right, back here on the Metamora Girls Basketball Preview Show, and for the first time, first of many, I'm sure, a chat with the new head girls basketball coach here at Metamora, Kyle Weyeneth. And Coach, let's start right there. Obviously, it has been a decent amount of time since the hire became official, but kind of how things have gone, what that timeline's been like since the announcement became official.
Yeah, been really kind of a whirlwind of a spring lead into the summer, and kind of did the best we could to put a summer schedule together in a short amount of time. And we had great turnout for all of our open gyms, great turnout for our league games, and so that transition was kind of rapid, but we had great support for everybody that was going to be a part of the program. And it's been great this fall going out and watching our girls compete in all the other sports. So we've had, I think, tennis won a sectional. We had a state qualifier there. Cross country girls just won a regional. We got volleyball that's starting up. And so we had some girls that were just swimming in conference swim team over the weekend, and golf wrapped up a few weeks ago. So we've had some of our basketball girls in pretty much everything that we got going this fall. And that was one of the things I told them in the summer was. And it might have been even on day one, and in the first 5 minutes, was I want you to be bought in for basketball, but I want you to be bought in for Metamora. And if you want to go out and compete in another sport, I want you to go do that and try to make it the best experience for high school that you can. And it's been awesome this fall. So in terms of transition, it was kind of crazy, but we're starting to settle into a routine, and I'm excited about next week.
And let's talk a little more about that transition aspect, because, I know I've talked with Coach Morrow a little bit about this as well. I'm sure it helps that, things were about as in place as they could be with that transition. What did that mean to you, that at least as much that could be in place was when you were hired?
For sure. Worked quite a few years with Coach Morrow in the building. We ate lunch almost every single day. And so it seemed like, we had basketball conversations all the time about what was going on in the program, and she did a phenomenal job. And, it caught me off guard when she had said that she was going to be, not coaching for the upcoming season. But she did a great job. She's got the girls playing really, really well. And I feel like I'm stepping into a situation where, a lot of people would be really lucky and really fortunate. So I'm just thankful that, I have the opportunity to do that. And, we just hope we can continue to bring the girls along and keep moving them in the right direction.
And let's talk about that aspect of becoming a new coach. What does that mean when you're becoming a new coach, that you have enough solid pieces coming back as opposed to just clean slate and having to start all over?
It definitely helps when you're talking about having the depth that we hope to be able to have this year, and so it definitely a different situation if you're stepping in and you're trying to right out of the gate grow and develop talent and players at the varsity level, and so to have that depth, I think is going to be hopefully a strength of our team. And I know over the last few years and all the conversations, like I said with Coach Morrow, their depth and knowing that the depth was coming was going to definitely be a strength. So I think that's something that hopefully we'll be able to highlight and will be one of our strengths as the season progresses.
What would you say, because obviously I know you've had experience coaching with boys basketball here at the high school, but what do you think would be the trademark or trademarks of a Kyle Weyeneth coach team here with this girls basketball program?
I as a player, was a guy that probably earned a lot of my minutes playing defense and rebounding and diving on the floor and just trying to be annoying to a certain degree in those areas. And so I think probably because that was so close to me in terms of how I had to play, I think I tried to get my teams to try to embody a little bit of that type of personality. And so defensively, I'm excited to see what we're going to be able to do this year, and I hope that we can kind of set a tone with our defense. And offensively, had a chance to play a lot of different styles through high school, through college, and I played on a football team at Monmouth College where we were scoring 49 points a game, and so I'd like like to score a lot of points, like to go fast, and so offensively, like to get up and down a little bit. And as I've watched all but maybe a couple games of last year's season, and even some from the season before, and I still got 5 or 6 days, so I'll have them all watched by the time we start on Monday. These girls like to get out and run, and they're hard workers, and I've seen that through the summer, seen it this fall, and so I think it's something that our defense sets the tone, and we'd like to get out and go on offense. So I'm hoping that that'll be something that we're able to try to bring to the court.
The team certainly showed a lot of promise over the summer season. Obviously, you don't want to put all the weight in the world on how those summer leagues went, but what would kind of be your general assessment of the team throughout the preseason?
Yeah, I thought they did an awesome job, and I told them from the get-go we're going to be pretty generic in the summer, just so that we could kind of learn a little bit more about each other. Me as a coach, me learning them as players, and so we kept things pretty simplistic. And we tried to play basketball, and we tried to focus on a few simple things, every night. And each game through the summer, we just said, let's try to make this one a little bit better than our last. And so that was something that they really bought into. You were talking to the girls a little bit ago, and I think one of the questions was, how's that turnaround time if you got kids that are coming in late? And I think, softball was playing in a regional championship, or won the regional championship and was playing in a sectional. And I think maybe got beat on a Tuesday, and then we were playing on Wednesday, and we had 2 games, and so we had 3, 4, 5 girls that the night before they were in a softball uniform, and the next night they were in a basketball uniform. And so I know they love basketball, they love playing, they love competing together, and so I think that puts together hopefully a pretty good recipe.
Let's go off the court for a little bit. Or kind of combo of off the court and on the court, but what would you say is your coaching style? Like, we talked about what kind of team that a team led by you might be, but how would you tell people what your coaching style would be? How would you assess that?
Yeah, I think of coaching a little bit as an extension of the classroom, and trying to find ways to fit each kid in the classroom and try to help them be as successful as possible. Same thing I try to do on the court. I think there's times when in practice where maybe I'm more vocal. And there's going to be other times in practice where I'm a little less vocal, and I let them figure some things out on their own. And it comes to games, I try to be positive, and we try to build that confidence throughout our practices, throughout our games, throughout really anything that we're doing together. But it's also competitively driven. We're going to have quite a few drills in practice there's a winner and a loser in everything that we're doing. So it's going to be a competitive environment, but it's also going to be an environment that challenges the kids, but also hopefully motivates them and empowers them to try to go be the best player they can be.
You got it depends on who you talk to, a little bit of a new mix, old mix staff. For those of you that might have been around the program a little while, you might know Eric Sliger. He's going to be the sophomore coach. Kurt Ryan's still around as the freshman coach, and then Ryan Davis is going to be the varsity assistant as well. What have those preseason conversations been like with your staff as you get ready for season number 1?
Yeah, it's been great. We got with everybody in the summer, and we had great conversations this summer. We've had really good dialogue throughout the summer and into the fall, and I think we're really aligned in terms of how we want to approach the season at all levels, freshman, sophomore, and varsity. And those guys have been great. I'm probably the new one, in terms of coming to girls basketball. And Sliger had a few years, I think 2 seasons, and Ryan's been here. I think this will be season number 3 or 4 for him. Kurt's been here, it seems like forever. And so, those guys, I'll lean on them, for some, experiences that they've had on the girls side of things that maybe I haven't had yet. So I think, really collectively as a group of guys that wants to work together and has the best interest of the players in mind, but also, how can we look at each level of the program and try to be as successful as we can be.
You will start the season hosting Springfield on November 16th, first broadcast here on Mixer, Lee Rock Island, Saturday of the 20th in the early morning hours. But what do you think, because obviously we still got some time, we still got the first day of official practice to come yet and everything, But what do you feel like will be going through your mind either the evening of the 15th, headed to bed, or waking up on that morning of the 16th? What emotion do you feel like will be running through your head?
Hopefully I'll be kind of at peace because everything that I can do at that point in time should be done. And I think it's different as a player, different as a coach. Obviously, there's going to be some excitement that goes along with it and some energy for sure. My kids tire me out enough. I think I'll probably sleep all right the night before, but I could be wrong. There's definitely going to be a certain level of excitement for sure that goes along with it. But at the same time, whether it's game number 1 or game number 5 or game number 20, I think there's consistency in terms of how you got to approach each game. And you try not to get too high on one game and low on the next. You just try to maintain a certain level of consistency throughout the season. And so it'll be game number 1, and however game number 1's outcome happens or whatever unfolds there, then we'll go back to work and we'll get ready for game number 2.
Well, Coach, we look forward to our varying conversations over the course of the season. Again, the Redbirds will open the season at home against Springfield on November 16th at 5:30. That'll be on Redbird Replay. First broadcast here on Mixler will be November 20th against Rock Island at 10 a.m. Coach, thanks for the time, and thank you all for tuning in. And, Coach, like I said, happy to have you on board.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
All right, this has been the Lady Redbird Preview Show, season opener, November 16th against Springfield.